Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, movie reviews with connections in mind, and welcome back to another installment in my reaction series to each and every episode in the 7th and final season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, if you've never seen any of these other reaction episodes up until this point, this is just my short form reaction series where I give my thoughts on the latest episode of whatever show I'm reviewing at the time. Give a brief overview of that night's episode, what I thought worked, what I thought didn't work, my thoughts on various things, as well as some analysis as to certain plot developments and character arcs that may seem familiar to you and where you may have seen them before. Now, just to get this out of the way, this will be a full spoiler video from this point forward, so if you've not seen the latest episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet, I highly recommend stop the video at this point and wait until you do, and then come back, because this will be full spoilers from here on out. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's get into Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, Episode 10, entitled Stolen, and stolen in the terms of Nathaniel Malick, who has already appropriated Daisy's Quake powers for himself, has invaded Afterlife in 1983 and co-opted the loyalty of Cora, the previously unknown half-sister of Daisy, who in the original timeline was supposed to commit suicide, or at least had committed suicide before, but Nathaniel Malick prevented that, and now she's helping him steal the Inhuman powers from the residents of Afterlife and give them to various mercenaries under Nathaniel Malick's employ. And the S.H.I.E.L.D. team has to stop Nathaniel Malick from continuing these experiments. They have to save the residents of Afterlife, so they enlist the help of Jiaying and Gordon to save the residents of Afterlife, to stop Malick, and to help save Cora from her fate at this point. On the flip side of this, Nathaniel Malick, not only is he working on giving his men Inhuman powers, and working for Sybil, who is apparently the only Chronicom left in this past timeline working against the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As a disembodied Chronicom personality in the time stream, I guess. And he enlists the help of a young John Garrett, who this is several years before John Garrett has his fateful incident in Yugoslavia, which would have, in the original timeline, disillusioned John Garrett with S.H.I.E.L.D. and driven him towards Hydra, as was detailed in the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And personally, I think the fact that Bill Paxton, may he rest in peace, that played the part so brilliantly in the first season, I thought it was pretty cool that for this season, even though his son kind of resembles it, his son James Paxton, I believe his name is playing the role of the younger John Garrett. I think that was a cool touch. I think that was a good job on their part, a nice little nod to his father's work at that point. So that was a cool touch. I quite appreciate that. And the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, they rescue the what Inhumans are left in Afterlife. However, they don't stop the Nathaniel Malick transferring Gordon's teleportation powers to John Garrett, and then Malick and John Garrett use his new teleportation powers to transport to the lighthouse, where they confront Garrett confronts May in a cool fight. I think it's kind of funny that they explore the side of John Garrett. Given his new teleportation powers, he is able to jump away successfully, but he says he can't stick the landing well. I thought that was kind of funny how how he was able to not stick the landing of his own teleportations. I thought they did that pretty effectively in this episode. So that happens, and Malick confronts both Daisy and Jiaying, who Jiaying is confronted with the reality that Daisy is her daughter from the future. However, she doesn't have a whole lot of time to process that. Daisy and Jiaying have a brief heart-to-heart where they don't necessarily know who each other, who Jiaying doesn't know who Daisy is, and until later when she is revealed, and Malick and Daisy have a quake off, I guess is the best way to describe it, where they throw each other against the walls with their quake powers, and shock of shocks, Malick actually succeeds in killing Jiaying, which is potentially bad news because, obviously it's bad news, but it was potentially bad for Daisy because in this timeline, 1983, Daisy hadn't been born yet, so there's the possibility of her getting erased from the timeline, although since she doesn't get erased immediately, it's possible that that's not going to happen, that there may be an alternate reality in the multiverse theory gives it credence on that front, so there's that. However, I am kind of surprised that before Malick actually kills Jiaying uses her life-sucking power on him. She doesn't kill him, but she definitely sucks a lot of life out of him. And the way that Malick kills her is he snaps her neck with his quake powers, but considering this was like right after she had sucked a lot of life energy from him, I'm kind of surprised. I believe in the original, in the first or second season where she's introduced, they say that her regeneration powers are proportionate to how often she had consumed life. Maybe I'm thinking of the Wraith from Stargate Atlantis, but anyway, I kind of thought that having just recently sucked life out of someone, she would be able to survive that since she survived getting torn apart, but who knows? Maybe they'll reveal that she got better in the next week's episode, but I kind of doubt that. So that was just kind of a surprise to me. However, this episode ends with Malick and John Garrett stealing the Zephyr and taking Simmons hostage, with Deke stuck aboard the Zephyr, having been messing around with his on the Zephyr doing repairs or whatever while listening to his Walkman on his headphones and not hearing the radio and not realizing he's stuck on board with being hijacked. Which, by the way, I mean, I kind of feel like Disney was going to make this joke anyway, but I don't know, something about making the giving Deke a Star-Lord style Walkman and the headset. He's even got the Deke Squad mixtape thing going on there. It's like, yes, you know, it's a cute little nod, and I mean, he is kind of Star-Lord-ish because he's been in space. He's got the whole mask thing, and he's got the gravity belt so he can fly. I mean, he's kind of Star-Lord-ish, but yeah, I don't know. That felt like a all right, whatever joke, but maybe you thought differently. But yeah, and because Malick is taking orders from Sybil, the disembodied Chronicom personality, she is determined that by exploring multiple different timelines, that the only way the Sybil and her gang lose is with Fitz on the Shield side, and up until now we don't know what happened to Fitz. We don't know where he is. Last week's episode implied that maybe something bad has happened to him. We don't know, but Malick has abducted Simmons with the apparent purpose of extracting Fitz's location from her. and we'll see what happens then. I'm excited to see what happens next week. Looks like, based on the promo that they gave at the end of the episode, that next week is going to be a single episode, and then the finale, the last 2 episodes are going to be the 2-hour series finale. I always appreciate it when they do the 2-hour finale thing going. So that'll be exciting. I really hope they stick the landing on this. What I thought worked about this episode, I think they focus on all the right aspects of it. I think they don't focus too much on the funny bits with Garrett trying to learn how to teleport. They do just enough emotional depth with Daisy and her mother not knowing who Daisy is. Daisy coming to terms with her having a half-sister that she never knew about. So I think they do a good job focusing on that and exploring certain issues between Daisy and her mother that season 2 briefly delved into with their relationship issues, but they never really put into words so much, and they didn't really touch on in any of the other episodes between season 2 and now. I think they did a good job with that. Also, I think they did a good job with I had hinted last week that I thought that the pairing of Daisy and Sousa was, I mean, good for them. I hope it works out, but I'm not entirely certain about the chemistry. And because of the way that episode worked, the way that it reset the timeline, Sousa doesn't know that he doesn't remember Daisy kissing him and getting the heart-to-heart with him on the one loop. And then they have to feel it more organically. I think it worked out well. They're teasing it a little bit better, and they're setting it up better where Sousa's acting more as a supporting friend who wants to get to know Daisy more. I think that works out well. And I mean, as well as one person can get attached to a fictional character, I've always liked Chloe Bennett portraying Daisy/Sky, and I kind of care what happens to the character, and I think it's like, I wish the best for her. I think he's a good, if she was gonna find true love, so to speak, then he's good. That's my 2 cents on that. Honestly, I think the mark of a good episode, either a movie or episode of television, is that you're able to watch it and not think about if something is repetitive or familiar to you, that you're along for the ride and you're invested in what happens to people. And that was me in this episode. I was able to, I didn't have time to think about any connections with anything that came before. I mean, obviously, I went kind of in at the at the Deke being the Star-Lord thing going on with his Walkman or whatever, but really the only thing I could think of, because it's my shtick, is the fact that that this whole episode revolves around stealing superpowers from people and using them for nefarious purposes and getting into the wrong people. And I could point to a similarity between that and the 2000 X-Men movie, where Magneto's searching out Rogue because she has the power of transferring superpowers from someone else to herself and using that for his evil plan. But that's about it as far as I can tell. I may have missed something, but like I said, I really wasn't thinking that much about it, even though I was kind of trying, but I really couldn't think of much because I was invested in what was going on. I was excited about this episode, and I'm really excited to see where they're going on. They're building up some good momentum going into the series finale. What did you think of this week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Like I said, did I miss anything as far as a connection goes in my analysis? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate whatever audience I can get. Be sure to tune in next week for my next my reaction to next week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode. And if you liked this video or any other video on my channel, please give me a like, share, and especially subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. But just remember, there is nothing new under the sun. And yes, you have seen it before.